Before anything, I just wanted to say that I'm streaming every single day, so if you ever need any help, you can just come to me. For the schedule, you can check it out on my Twitch channel. It's the same name as here in my account, and also my YouTube channel, Carlos KND. So make sure you check me out, and you can ask me for anything. I play on EU servers, that's the only thing, and I'm always willing to help, so yeah. Okay, so lately I've been trying to play with some other people on co-op, on just trying to help out in different domains, and I've realized that there's like a lot of people that really don't know how to build their characters. So I'm gonna try to give some tips to help out anyone. And yeah, for sure, this is the thing is that you can play however you want to. You can just have every single character at level 20 and use Amber as a healer, even though you can't, and it doesn't make any sense at all. Or maybe you just want to use I don't know, Barbara as a DPS character, and you can do at the end of the day whatever you want to. But yeah, I just want to give some tips for anyone who's struggling, anyone who wants to be able to do any fight and domains by themselves. And yeah, so let's get right into it. First of all, it really depends on your AR. So right now I'm 57, this is on my free-to-play account, and I have a lot of investment into a lot of my characters. But basically, what you should do from the very beginning, which is really important, because in this kind of soft games you have to manage really well your resources so later on you don't get screwed up, because there's like a lot of characters. Even if you are free to play, even if you haven't played for a long time or whatever, you're gonna have a lot of characters. You are not gonna be able to level up every single character. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that you can level up every single character, but it's gonna take a long time, and you should totally prioritize some of the characters before the others, because you're gonna be struggling a lot more if you don't do that. So yeah. Okay, and also a quick note: you can use any character. Like right here, I know I'm using Ganyu, quite a meta character, but I also have fun playing with Yanfei and some other characters that are not quite as good, but they can get the job done, and they are pretty fun. I also have here Sayu. She's not that great, but she's extremely fun. Use whatever you want to. Kichin is also really fun, but she's quite underwhelming later on. So the only difference is that it's gonna take you way longer to get those kind of characters to the same level that the other characters are at. So maybe for you to get a Keqing to the same level as a decent Ganyu, you're gonna have to get her to 80 out of 90, all the talents crowned, insane artifacts. So you're gonna have to spend a lot more resin into those characters, but that's totally fine. You don't even need that much, especially if you don't mind about Abyss and some other harder content, which there's not that much of, to be honest. So yeah, feel free to do whatever. But I'm gonna give some tips on efficiency for the people that are struggling rather than anything, and maybe you can take some advice, or maybe you can just take part of it and do whatever you want to with it. So first of all, one of the most common mistakes that I see is that everyone levels up their characters to the max that they can after they ascend. What I mean is that right here, if I have my Amber at 20, I can level her up, and most people just get her up to 40. And at the beginning it's not that big of a deal, but it really adds up. You shouldn't do this usually, because you don't get a lot of stats out of this in particular. You basically want to level them up only when you are gonna ascend, and then you can just ascend and leave them like this. In this case, you cannot tell too much because it's only level 20 out of 40. But if you do the same thing in different characters, you realize that it's actually a pretty big deal. So right here, it's not that much, 100k Mora and 29 purple books. Not that big of a deal. But if we move on to, yeah, just 70 out of 80. Bam, 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 bam. 320k Mora, 80 books. It really adds up if you do that with every single character. And let's go with 80 out of 90. This is the biggest spike. You most likely won't ever want to do that. Let's round it up to 700k because I have some extra XP that I've been getting from daily commissions, which is another reason why you should just leave them at 80, even though you don't get barely any XP out of killing enemies and stuff. But yeah, you only get like a little increase in HP, attack, defense, so it's not that big of a deal. Another thing that I forgot to say is that whenever you ascend your characters, depending on the character itself, you get some extra stats. So in case of Diluc, you get some extra crit rate whenever you ascend, and you only get it when you ascend, not when you level up. When you level up, you only get HP, attack, and defense basically. So yeah, that's how you get most out of your characters. The main reason why you want to ascend is because you get the talents, and that's only at 60 out of 70. So in many characters, depending on your level obviously, you only want to get to 60 out of 70 at least in the beginning. So yeah, make sure you watch out for that. So you can see, like, in every character that I have, these ones I don't use, I just leveled them up to 20 and ascended so I could get the free wish. So yeah, in this account I don't use them, but everyone is like 60 out of 70, 60 out of 70, 70 out of 80. The only exceptions in my case are Ganyu, because I have her best in slot weapon. I decided to talent her basic attack, which is the only talent that I've crowned so far, I'm pretty sure. Bennett, you could totally get him to 90 because of the way his ult works. You want to get more base attack, which scales with the level. So yeah, I could probably do that, but yeah, Ganyu because it's my waifu, and totally, if you want to, you can just do that with anyone. If you love Songli and you just want to fully invest into that character, you can just level them up. So yeah, do whatever you want to, but the rest of my characters are just like that, because if I were to get them all to 90 or 80, I would not have any Mora. I do have a lot of Mora and XP right now, but even then, I want to have it for like future characters, and you are gonna end up wasting all of your Mora on artifacts and all kinds of things. So yeah, I'm quite a saver. Also with Primo Gems, this is a free-to-play account, and I have here like how many? 92 and another 15 here, so quite a lot. So yeah, and I do have a really nice roster of characters, as you can see. C1 Mon and C1 Albedo too. So, but this is like after not quite a year, maybe yeah, around a year of playing, without spending any money. In this case, on this account. So yeah, you don't really need to spend any money. You can clear all the content and have a lot of fun with all of the characters that you get, even if you don't get like every single character. Yeah. So the next thing is prioritizing your characters. There's like a lot of important stuff around this, and there's a really interesting post here that you guys can see. I'll link it in the description, but yeah, it basically goes over the prioritization that you should give to your different characters, and it really depends on their role or the role that you want to give them, I guess. And this is the best resin investment that you can do to get more out of your resin, because it really is something that you have to look into if you wanna do everything really well. So yeah, the first thing is here it explains the kinds of investments in this case, but if you're like, let's say level 35 or something, the moderate investments are like extreme investments for you, or kind of, and some of this stuff you can't even do because this is like getting your weapon to level 80. And this should only serve as a guide. Don't take it like don't do like exactly what it says here. You don't have to. It's like a guide that you should kind of have in mind, but don't like overthink it or anything. At least that's the way I take it. But yeah, basically you should invest first in your carry, which is the main character that is gonna be dealing all the damage. In this case, the one that is gonna be out in the field. In this case, there's Ganyu, Child, Hu Tao, Keqing, Diluc, all those kinds of characters. So yeah, and the next thing would be to get your supports to the bare minimum, the animal characters or the healers, the shielders, all of that to the minimum, so you can drop their abilities and not much more. And then the next thing would be to get to a moderate investment with Bennett and Venti, because they are on a different level. Basically, they're, even if they are only supports, quote unquote, they are broken, so you should probably invest a lot of them, kind of in pair with your carry. So the next thing would be to go extreme investment with your hyper carry, and then heavy investment in your carry. The hyper is the one that it's on the field, and then carry would be the secondary DPS, so to speak. And the next thing, yeah, would be going after the DPS support, extreme. You can read it, you'll know where I'm going. But yeah, this is basically the order that you should kind of take. So in my case, when you end up with all of these resources and you don't even know what to level up, you get to kind of the same level for every character. But it's also important to not only take into consideration the level and the talents, so not only the level of the character, not only the level of the weapon, because this one is only level 80, by the way, quite interesting, but also the talents and the artifacts. Like, all of these are to take into consideration, and that's a really important thing to take into account. So yeah, the whole artifact things, I think I might do a separate video talking about this, because it's a whole mess. It's really it's quite difficult, if I say so myself. So yeah. Okay, so TLDR, the main characters that you are gonna be using, that are gonna be out on the field doing all the damage, should be way more invested than your other characters. At the beginning of the game, let's say level 35 or even lower, you should only focus first on one of your characters, and later on you're gonna be using 2 main DPS characters at least for the Abyss, because you need 2 teams. And you also want to have like some different DPS characters, because you cannot always clear all the content with the same character. Let's take Hu Tao, she cannot kill pyro slimes. I mean, she could, but it's gonna take way too long. Ganyu, same thing with Cryo Slimes and all of that. Okay, so yeah, make sure you level up different stuff at the same time. So not only take your Hu Tao to level 90 and then have your weapon at level 20, but like do everything at the same time, because the multipliers are gonna be working way better if you level everything up. If you have to, you can just get your weapon to level 80 or 70 or whatever you can, and then level up the talents a little bit, and then focus a little bit on the artifacts too. Like you don't have to first take all the artifacts to level 20 and then get a weapon and then a talent, all the talent books. Try to do kind of everything at the same time. That's basically it. I don't know if I forget something, but yeah, I might do a video talking about all the artifacts and stuff that you should take into consideration, because it gets really complicated after level 40 or 45. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I'm gonna wrap it off like that. So yeah, thank you all for watching.